Hi, and welcome to this video on Spline Kit Pro. Today we're going to talk about ScaleBlendNodes. So how do you create a custom scale along a segment of the spline? Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Go to Game Object, let's create us a new spline here. Now if you've ever seen the video or used rotation blend nodes, this can be easy for you. They're pretty much the same, they just involve scaling. So let's go ahead and just create a spline here, something like that maybe, and let's add a custom scale to it now. So to do that, we're going to come over here to the Edit menu, come down here to Add Nodes, and we're going to move this little red box around until we find the place where we want to add a scale. Change, start it anyway. So let's just say there, Add Scale Node, and there we go. We've got a scale node now. Now note that just like this really isn't going to do much. Just like a rotation blend node, it might change the scale for one frame. But what we really want to do is control it over a segment of the spline. So let's go ahead and define that segment. And to do that, you just come over here with your scale node selected, look in the inspector, and you'll see you've got a start scale, an end scale, and 4 T values. Okay, this start T corresponds to the start scale, end T to the end, and these blend in and blend out I'll cover in a minute, but let's just focus on the start and end for right now. So again, we have our start T, that's this node right here, and currently the end T is in the same place. So if we just drag this out, you can see that we push this end scale node out here somewhere. Okay, so let's just say something like that maybe, maybe just a little bit further. Okay, so now we have that, and we can come in here and set some sort of scale. Let's just say we could scale it that way here and this way here. And now if you've seen the video on rotation blend nodes or used them, you'll know that what this does is it is a blend from this one to this one, okay, along this line here. So let's just add us something to scale. Let's just create a little cube here. Okay, and let's add it to our spline. To do that, we'll use the spline animator. Open up spline, drag our spline in here, adds it to our spline. Let's go ahead and make it so it starts up automatically. And let's give it a speed. Okay, and let's just take a look at it. So you see it hits that, pops to that, snaps to that scale and blends to this scale, and then snaps back to the spline scale. Okay, now we just saw that it snapped, right? And maybe we don't really want that. So that's what these other two T values are for. You've got a blend in and a blend out. So the blend in will blend into this start one from the spline scale, and the blend out will blend from this end scale back to the spline. So you can just come in here and you can move this back, and you can see that it moves that little red dot and this little red line to indicate where it starts and how it goes over. So we can say, well, choose set it to there, okay? And then we can do the same for the end. We'll drag this one out here so it has that much of a blend out. So now the cube will hit this and start to blend from the spline scale to this scale. Okay. Then it's going to blend from this scale to this scale, and then it's going to scale from this one, blend from this one back to the spline scale here. Okay. So we hit play. You can see that in action. There it goes, starting already, just like that, and blends back out. Okay, so that is basically how you use a scale blend node. There's one other thing that we should maybe talk about, and that is its original or starting scale. If your object starts out with a scale of 1, you're probably fine, but otherwise you may need to override your base scale. The base scale is just the scale that the spline uses without any scaling. So if you want it to be a base scale of 10, that means, it would be 10 here, and then, scale to whatever this is or this is, and then it scales back to 10. So if you need to do that, you need to control that, you can. You just come onto your cube here, and there is this override base scale here. Okay. Otherwise, the scale on startup is used. So whatever your scale is here, right, when you hit start, whatever that scale is, that will be used as your base scale. There may be instances where you don't want that, right? You want it to be something else. And so you can come down here and override it and say, use this as my base scale, right? So we could set it to say 10. And you can see that it does that, okay? That's the base scale. That's what we'll scale to. So if we hit play, right, it's going to stay at that scale and blend to what it needs to here, okay? Obviously way too big, but you get the idea, okay? And blends back out to the scale of the spline, okay? So that's it. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, anything you want me to cover, go ahead, shoot me a message at splinekit@gmail.com. Splinekit's one word. I'll be happy to try and address it, maybe create a future video, something like that. So again, just feel free to shoot me a message. All right, that's it. Thanks for joining me.